new on campus and don't know too much about this professor's classroom habits. Why wasn't anything done beforehand?
We didn't have any hard evidence saying, that he was talking about these things in class. So once, the only thing that we had was Facebook. That's the whole thing, the whole idea of why this whole thing started. Once we had, evidence, people started coming up and started sending us emails of lectures, of people started to file formal complaints or sending us complaints of what they experienced with that professor. So once we had those audios, we listened to them, and then that's when we started taking further action. Is that
Did that answer your question?
Sure, yes.
You sure?
If there's the audios here right now, I would imagine those were publicly available beforehand?
No, they weren't publicly available. They're available now. They're on Facebook, on YouTube, so they're basically everywhere now.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Yeah, so you said that you're against his viewpoint, or you're not against his viewpoints, right? You're open to his own point of view and his own opinions.
We're not against professors having opinions.
You're not against him having opinions?
Right.
Right, so wouldn't you say that his racism is his own opinion? I mean, has he ever acted on his racism? Again, have you been in his class and him shown some type of racial discrimination towards you and you get an F in the class? Like, how do you prove that?
How would you prove a grade was given unfairly?
Yeah, I mean, I don't support what he says.
Right.
But at the same time, you can't say that he's discriminating against you because you haven't been technically discriminated against.
Okay.
You haven't received an F in his class. I stood up in his class and I've said numerous things to him about the stuff that he said, but at the end of the day, I get an A in the class, and that's the issue. It's he's bringing, I think it's more than just what he's saying. The issue should be, the fact that he's the only one teaching these classes, bringing his ideologies.
Right, and that's where the issue lies. The issue does not lie in the fact that he is he's very proud,
That's
and he
okay.
and that's fine.
Yeah.
And guess what? There's a time and a place for that, but in class, when that is the only thing you talk about, when that is the only thing that is being covered, that's not okay. What we're going for is the lack of education that you're getting sitting in the class. Because I personally had his class too. I had no syllabus, no homework, nothing, and I got an A. The easiest A I've ever earned in my college career. But I did nothing. I did absolutely nothing. And all he did was rant rave about everything.
Yeah,
so
I totally agree, but I think at the same time,
Right.
you should be having some kind of unifying message that's, the same for everybody. It's not that he's racist or that he's discriminating, because he's not discriminated against. That's to my knowledge. I haven't heard of anyone being discriminated against in his class. So I think there should be a unifying message that everyone can agree on.
I'd just like to say that I did have this class this semester, and we had a test last week. We had to write 2 essays. I've got a test due next week. The syllabus is available online. He doesn't hand it out at the beginning of the class, but he also assigns you books that as adults we are expected to read on our own. He doesn't check up on, oh, did you read it? Did you read it? Did you read it? He just expects us as adults to read it.
And that could be so now, but because when I had his class, we didn't have books or assignments or anything.
Well, I've had him for politics and religion, and I have him for politics and technology this semester, and both times books were assigned, and they were effectively read.
That's how it should be. But the A that I got, I did nothing. And any other college student would be okay with that, but I got nothing out of class, and I paid for it.
Yeah, that should be the issue.
Right.
Should be that is,